In this explainer, we're diving into a really specific kind of message, one that asks for just a single moment of your time. The whole idea here is that this pause you're taking isn't just another distraction, but something that was actually arranged, something intentional. So let's dig in and see how it builds that case. So, right off the bat, the source tries to make a personal connection with this question. It's not just a casual ask, right? It feels more like a gentle but really urgent plea to just stop everything and listen for a second. And boom, here's where we find out what's at stake. The core idea is that this pause is so important because a breakthrough you've been waiting for is supposedly right around the corner. And if you just rush past this, you could miss it completely. So let's break down this invitation itself. Yeah, the message calls this an urgent invitation, and you can almost feel the source anticipating that you might be skeptical. It's like it's saying, hey, I know you've probably felt a pull like this before and just kept going, but this time is different. The main claim here is that you running into this message wasn't random at all. It's being presented as this deliberately arranged intervention happening at this exact time because, according to the source, something critical is happening in your life that needs your full attention. So the big question is, why now? Well, the source suggests the timing is everything because it's addressing a specific state of being it calls the drifting tired soul. You can think of this next part as a sort of diagnosis, a diagnosis for a kind of exhaustion that goes way deeper than just physical. It starts with this really simple but powerful statement: you have been tired. But right away, it makes it clear we're not just talking about physical fatigue, the kind you get from a long day. No, it's something way deeper. It's being soul tired, that profound kind of exhaustion that a good night's sleep just can't fix, because the weight you're carrying isn't physical. And what's really interesting is how the source defines this state of drifting. It's not saying it's a conscious choice you made to pull away. It's described as this quiet, slow disconnect. What happens when the noise of life just gets so overwhelming that, without even meaning to, you slip from a state of living into just surviving. This is where the source gets really specific about the burdens that lead to that soul-tired state. It points to things like the lingering pain from a heartbreak you tried to get over, the absolute exhaustion from fighting your battles all by yourself, the sting of disappointment from closed doors and broken promises, that deep loneliness you can feel even in a room full of people, and that constant fear, being afraid of the future while also being terrified of repeating the past. So after diagnosing this deep exhaustion and this feeling of isolation, the source makes a big pivot. It moves to this really powerful message of reassurance, and it calls it every silent cry seen. This reassurance starts by zeroing in on the pain of that solitary struggle. The message here is all about acknowledgement, that all that effort you put into looking strong when you felt like you were falling apart, well, it didn't go unnoticed. And then, wow, it gets even more personal. It hones in on those most private moments of grief, the tears you cry in secret when you think no one is watching, just to make the point that even those were not missed, they were seen. This chart creates such a stark contrast, doesn't it? It's your internal feeling versus what the source calls the divine perspective. So where you might feel totally forgotten by people, it counters with never forgotten by me. Where you feel invisible in your struggle, it's met with being cherished in your pain. And that feeling of being completely lost is reframed as you being in the exact right place. And this quote is really the ultimate promise that wraps up this whole section. It's the definitive statement that, according to this message, no moment of suffering, no matter how small or how silent, was ever overlooked. Okay, so if the pain was seen and the exhaustion was understood, why step in right now? The message answers this very question in its final section, explaining the purpose of this pause. First, the source acknowledges that frustration we've all felt, those moments of confusion where you're just asking, why? Why did that door close? Why did that opportunity just vanish? Why does it feel like I'm so stuck? And here it is, the crucial point. A powerful reframing. Those delays, the ones that might have felt like a punishment, are presented as acts of divine protection. From this perspective, every closed door was actually shielding you from something that wasn't meant for you. And this slide really lays out the logic for the urgent timing. The argument is this: a breakthrough you've been praying for is really close, but your spirit has become so tired, so numb, that you might not be able to receive it. So this pause, this very moment, is designed to wake your heart up and prepare you to accept what's coming. This quote just ties the whole message together. It's claiming that this intervention was a necessary act of protection, not to control you, but to prevent the very thing you've hoped for from arriving while you're too disconnected to even recognize it. And so we're left with this one last thought-provoking question. It reframes this entire experience, asking you to just consider, what if this pause wasn't a coincidence at all? What if it was, in fact, an appointment, one that was scheduled specifically for you, for right now?